Hello everyone. Welcome to the 8th episode of Debugging TV Frames program. You can type your questions during this episode. If I can't answer particular questions now, I then post answers on the website debugging.tv. Today I extend my old article about login extension from debugging tools for Windows. Basically, I talk about adding additional API for tracing. For example, from activation context pattern. This login extension, WinDbg extension, doesn't trace all Windows API. So here we add missing API. We are interested in activate ActCTX and deactivate ActCTX API. So we create a special file, contents.h, and put it in one of Windows debugging tool for Windows folder. So here is the file that I already created, and you can see function declaration conventions and actually follow what's there, because in this folder you see many header files. So going back to this file, and after we create this additional file, we also need to add it to main.h. So I added this include directive for context.h at the end of main.h file. So there is also our application that we want to trace. So if I launch it, it shows a message box, attach debugger now. So basically what we do, I show if I click on it, it crashes. I publish a dump analysis later on, but for this presentation, what I do after it, I publish source code of this application as well. So let's launch this application again. So it shows attach debugger now dialog box, message box, and we have a debugger in WinDbg already running. So we attach to a process. Here it is. So what we need to do after that, let me extend this window. So first of all, we enable login using this command. So it passes all headers from this folder. If you do 32-bit debugging, you should use 32-bit debugging tools for Windows. So, and we see also that it passed our context, custom context, context.h. After that, what we do, we disable all categories because we don't need to clutter the output. Then we see what categories are there. There is our custom activation context. So we enable it. After that, we see what output types of login are available. So we see the debugger output is disabled, text file output is disabled. So what we do, first we enable. So if we only need verbose log, we can leave it as is. I just want to show you debugger and text file output. So we enable text file output and debugger output. So everything is enabled. After that, we do go. So we switch to our application and dismiss dialog box. First of all, we see some output that activation functions were called with parameters, some exceptions, but these are because we deliberately wrote this modeling example to throw exceptions. And then we continue. So we see some tracing for deactivate context and process terminated. So now we inspect folders. So in this folder, we see that text file was created with tracing output. And then we also have a verbose login. And in order to launch it, we need the special application called Log Viewer. It's located in debugging tools for Windows. I already associated it with this extension. So I open this log file. Actually, this login extension sometimes behaves incorrectly. So you see it doesn't show us anything. And sometimes it even crashes. It crashed when I was preparing this example. So I even saved the crash dump. We see logviewer.dmp. Let me launch it again. So it doesn't work. I try to reboot the system and put screenshot on debugging.tv. So I'm not lucky with this viewer today, but you probably got an idea on how to use this tracing extension. So here I put some slides that show essential commands, some highlighted output. So here's a usual ban ad extension that shows some advertisements. And we also decided to create additional accelerated Linux code dump analysis course, training course. So stay tuned for training schedule. So thank you for watching this episode. Please later check out the slides and recorded video from debugging.tv. The next episode is scheduled for 24th of February. We discuss mixing software and hardware breakpoints to solve complex debugging tasks. So thank you very much for attending, and if you have questions, please type them, and I do the best either to answer them in the next 5 minutes or post answers later on debugging.tv. So there is a question, how difficult it is to apply debugging skills from one platform to another, say Windows to Linux or Mac OS X. It's not difficult if you have some framework or approach. For example, I use pattern-driven software problem analysis, either crash dump, memory dump analysis patterns, or software trace or log analysis patterns. And for example, software trace patterns are completely independent of platform, and crash dump analysis patterns can be adopted. So I'm working, for example, now on examples to extend Windows examples for all crash dump analysis patterns.